It's not classified as GMO.
So you're not denying the fact that there is likely that there will be side effects. But then again, it will depend on the extent or how great.
To its defense. Some experts say among the benefits of GM crops include increased crop yields, reduction in chemical pesticide use, and pharmaceutical and biofuel production, among others. But other scientists disagree and say genetically modified crops often disrupt the natural process of gene flow because the better traits are produced from engineering genes, which can result in the favoring of one organism. They claim it is more inclined towards the marketization of farming for the purpose of immoral profits. Joyce Brown, who is the Director of Programs at the Health of Mother Earth Foundation, and Kabir Ibrahim, who is the President of the All Farmers Association of Nigeria. Let's start with Kabir here, and good to see you. And many farmers seem to understand the debate better than non-farmers. With a smile on your face, I think the better place to start would be, are you a proponent or an opposition to GMO?
I support and I embrace biotechnology that leads to the production of GM crops.
And there must be a reason, so you might want to share.
My reason, principally, is that most farming activities or most farmers are looked upon as poor people. They are doing subsistence farming. For us, the game changer to make the farmer prosperous is genetic engineering. The crops that are out in Nigeria today are solving two problems. The ones that are here now, the PBR cowpea and the teller maize, those are the only two that are commercially released in Nigeria. They serve two purposes. We have a deficit of cowpea or beans of about 500,000 metric tons in Nigeria as a nation. Now, because if you are conversant with beans, for instance, you know that it's attacked by so many insects, and sometimes the losses are 100%. You know, so this PBR cowpea, its name is pod borer resistant cowpea. That is that insect that destroys both the leaves, the stem, and the grain itself cannot attack it. So we get good yield by using it. Now, but we asked from the beginning, okay, is this safe for consumption? Science, good science, has shown that it is also good for consumption. And 3 years ago, I was given seeds and I planted them in my farm. I observed. I was on television. I observed the good part of it. And when it was released commercially, we did a road show in Alausa, Lagos. I was there. There are people made akara and moi moi in the Lagos area, and we ate. And today, people are asking me for those seeds. Now, what it is doing is that deficit of 500,000 metric tons is being breached. The gap is being breached. But of course, we have so many other things debilitating against productivity in agriculture in Nigeria. For instance, we have been talking here on insecurity, climate change, and then, of course, mechanization. We have very little mechanization and all that. Therefore, there is still a deficit. But as time goes on, the deficit will go. But I want to take you to those countries that are talking, are saying that they have, or that we know have food security. If you look at them, the most important ones are the United States, Canada, India, for instance, and Argentina. Now, in the United States, there's food security. You go around, you can take away tea, Rogers, $2, $1. Nobody complains about food there. But most of the food items are really GM. And then the advancement in science in the United States is much higher than what we have here.
All right.
So the noise that I hear, I want to really listen and get facts.
Okay, let's see if Joyce Brown will add to the noise because, well, we do. Maybe I should ask the question as to, what side of the divide you belong to. Is it pro or anti-GMO, and really, why, if anti, why are you concerned about GMO? What is it that's so concerning about GMO?
Right, thank you so much. So we are on the side that is protecting the interests of Nigerians, and that is the anti-GMOs, and that is for a number of reasons, a whole lot of reasons, and the major one is as it affects the rights of local farmers who currently produce the food that we consume, right? So the promoters of GMOs themselves have confirmed that with GMCs, productivity would reduce after the first planting season. And so we would have farmers going to corporations, depending on corporations, every planting season to get these seeds. That is taking away the right of farmers, the sovereignty of farmers, the control of the seeds from the hands of the farmers who currently produce more than 80% of the food we consume in Nigeria as a country. That is one of the major challenges, the fact that we're giving over the control of our food system to corporations and not the farmers as it has been. There are also health implications that have been proven by the same science we are talking about, long-term toxicity tests that have been conducted that have shown liver problems, birth defects, immune disorders that are connected to the consumption of GMOs. And the one question that we really ask the promoters of GMOs, the government agencies that are pushing for their release in Nigeria, is that they show us the risk assessment document. Where is the proof that they have conducted enough risk assessment or any risk assessment at all that shows that would put the minds of Nigerians to rest that GMOs are safe for consumption for the Nigerian people? Those are nowhere to be found. It was because of this recent uproar that NAFDAC came out to say, oh, they're going to make these documents public. But this should have been done even before these products are released. These documents are nowhere to be found as it is. We have researchers in the country who should have given peer review to these risk assessment documents, just so that we know that for a fact we have done due diligence before these products are released to the Nigerian environment. And there are a significant number of these GMOs that are produced to be herbicide tolerant, and this has increased the use of glyphosate containing herbicides, which there are thousands of cases in the US that we have already mentioned on this show where we say they are food secure and they are making use of GMOs. But there are thousands of cases, cancer cases against Monsanto, now Bayer, and there have been thousands of dollars that have been paid in punitive damages over because this company failed to warn the citizens of the dangers associated with using these glyphosate containing chemicals. And by the way, these chemicals are all over our markets in Nigeria without regulation. Some of them even have NAFDAC numbers on them. Our farmers are spraying these pesticides and no one is properly regulating them. So these chemicals have implications for soil degradations, and even can wash off to contaminate water sources. If you remember the case that happened in Benue, where up to 270 people died from contamination with endosulfan. So these are also implications, and we're already having issues with our export market because some of our products, including beans, are being rejected in the EU, for example, because of excessive pesticide residue. So these are some of the problems that we will encounter if we continue to go in the way of GMOs. And if we want to solve food insecurity like our government says we want to do, it would be to address challenges that farmers face. Earlier today, we had a conversation with CSOs, some of which are farmers, and they acknowledge always that the problems are not with GMOs. They don't need GMOs at all. And the solutions that they seek are better support from the government in terms of extension service, provision of infrastructure, better access to land, access to credit, all of which will help the farmers to produce better, to make healthy food available to people, to the Nigerian people. But this is not our focus. We're focusing on GMOs. And just to clarify that we are not against science. Not at all. We acknowledge the role of science in technology, in medicine, and in other aspects of life. But to tamper with the food that people consume and in a way that is so shrouded in secrecy, people are not aware of what is going on, it's totally problematic and unacceptable.
All right, Joyce, thank you. Let's bring in Kabir, Ibrahim. From where she left off, she says, this is not about science, but about tampering. So how do you feel when many like Joyce and others say you have tampered with it to the extent that they feel it become unsafe?
Well, I have to say one or two things to correct the impression that people have. What we have as GM crops in Nigeria, they are not products of cooperation. We don't have any cooperation that is bringing the GM behind the cowpea that you spoke about. One is a product of science. The tampering that she's talking about in genetic engineering is also happening in genome editing. My bias is in science as it relates to the built environment, but we also do assessments to see impact on people. Yes, it is possible for people to say that there are contraindications even on drugs for medication, and it is possible for us to find certain things from what we consume, like sugar. Sugar, nobody says sugar is not to be consumed, but there are side effects for taking sugar. But sugar, as we know it today, is not classified as GMO.
So you're not denying the fact that there is a likelihood that there will be side effects. But then again, it will depend on the extent or how grave, the side effects to genetically modified
what we have always interrogated and why it is released by law is that it has to be controlled and it has to be labeled. The law is very clear that if you have GM crop, you have to label it because you give the consumer a choice.
Do we have those controls effectively in Nigeria?
Yes, we do. You see, the mistake that people are making is this. About 1 year ago, the cowpea was released commercially. And the seeds are produced here. And they are using outgrowers, farmers who agree to produce seeds for them. They give them foundation seeds and they produce seeds that they will now sell to people. And that has just taken place. The GM telomeres was released commercially about 2 weeks ago. And the seeds that are available now in Nigeria are not such that in fact, the production commercially is only going to be this season. So anybody who is saying that people have taken GM crops and has got disease and all, it's probably GM crops that they have taken that probably somebody brought illegally.
Look at it this way, you said controlled. And we live in a world whereby, when we talk about control, we've seen the same in the pharmaceutical world, to the extent that now we're dealing with some illicit drugs. I don't know what operates in your laboratory. Sometimes it doesn't catch the eye of the regulator, Ibrahim. So that is why people are afraid that when you tamper, using Joyce's word, with some of these foods, not everyone will do the right thing. So I'll come back to you, Kabir. Let's bring in Joyce to speak more on this control, which it doesn't sit pretty well in the space of Joyce and those who are with her on this conversation.
Yeah, so it's important to highlight at this point that we do not trust even the regulatory process we have in place when it comes to GMOs. Because, for example, we have in that regulation that GMOs will be labeled. We haven't seen anywhere in the country where the BT cowpea has been labeled. And even if it is labeled in some places or labeled at the point where it leaves the seed companies or the government to some farmers, the beans in the market, right? The ones that were displayed in Lagos, for example, during the street walk he mentioned, right? Are they labeled? When this beans is displayed in basins in the market, and we know most of our population buy food from open market, not in supermarkets where they are properly packaged and there's a possibility of labeling. It won't be possible for these products to be labeled. So you have that beans processed into akara, for example, and you go to your favorite akara seller by the road to buy akara. How would you tell that is produced from GMO, and for you to be able to make a choice as to whether or not you want to consume that product. The corn, for example, the telomerase, when it is processed into ogi or pap, and you go to your, of course, your favorite mama put to buy it, or you buy it even in a restaurant, how would you know that you're consuming GMOs? And we know today that a lot of people rely on others to prepare food for them, which they store for a while before they consume. And so we have a system that does not allow the labeling of GMOs, which is not even being enforced in the first place. Another problem with the control we are talking about is the fact that we have on the board of the regulator of GMOs, the National Biosafety Management Agency, we have on that board key promoters of GMOs, including the National Biotechnology Development Agency. So we have a committee set up right under that agency that is supposed to examine, review, and approve applications for GMOs. And in that same committee, we have chief promoters of GMOs. That is a very clear case of conflict of interest, and we cannot trust the system like that to ensure that we have strict regulation, to ensure that we have only safe GMOs with the interests of the people that had been approved for introduction into the country. Now we have this document, a review that we have done, a survey that HOMEF conducted in 2018, 2019, and this recent one in the year 2023, and we found in our market shelves products, packaged food products that contain GMO ingredients. GM soy, GM corn are the most ingredients that we saw in them. And these are found in very common food cereals that people consume, vegetable oils, cake mixes, a lot of different products, even some imported noodles that are all over our market shelves as major supermarkets, including in Abuja. In the 2023 survey, we had the most number of GMOs in Abuja, and this 2023 survey actually revealed a 60% increase in the number of GMOs in our markets. Now the question is, who is regulating these products that are in the market? How many people are reading these labels? Even the very enlightened people who purchase food from these highbrow markets, these supermarkets, they do not read the labels. And so people are already consuming GM products without knowing what they are consuming. And so the question of control is one that we really have no answer for. We don't know who is controlling, if it's NAFDAC, if it is NBMA. NBMA had told us that there were no GMOs in the market, even as of 2018, where we did the first survey. But we saw these products in the market, and there is no response on these products, about these products that are in the market that the Nigerian people are consuming.
Well, it's good to know that, you've done, great research, not just responding or reacting in a sentimental or, emotional manner that doesn't really make much sense. Let's bring it back to you, Kabir Ibrahim. You heard the argument, very compelling argument against, there. But when, anyone listens to you too, very compelling arguments on both sides. Now, let's even talk about some of the myths around the issue of GMO, for example. The issue of, the argument that land used in cultivating GMO, organism or products, you can't really, in a sustainable manner, reuse this land. They become incultivable, if there's any such a word. You want to help us understand truth, fact, and myth around this?
There are many things that I would say, but first let me react to anybody who says they don't trust the controlling mechanism of anything in a nation.
You just said that.
Yes, that is wrong, because you see, they had support from the Senate, the last Senate. I think the majority leader, one Dr. Abdullahi, who is also an agriculturist, they sponsored the bill. To amend some of the MBMA components or articles in the law. We went for public hearing. They didn't come. Even the promoter didn't come. So as far as we are concerned, these were not really thought out things. And then as to the issue of the survey and what they have seen in the market and that is labeled, this is imported illegally imported GM crops, because we are talking about the GM crops that are produced here and that are already in commercial, released in commercial quantities.
It still speaks to the issue of, lack of regulation. I mean, if NAFDAC says we're not confident that this GMO foods are safe, and that NAFDAC also says it hasn't given any license to bring in GMOs,
yes,
and yet we have loads of it.
I would like to tell you. I would like to tell you this. I mean, this is a government issue, but the mandate for GM crops is not with NAFDAC. NAFDAC does not have that mandate. So the person, whoever it is, who said anything is not institutional. The thing is that
after all,
it is not shocking.
It is shocking that NAFDAC has always protected what we consume, and now when it comes to GMO, NAFDAC has no hand in it.
No, it is a member of the board of the MBMA. It is there before this thing is allowed to be released commercially. So it has its input there. But for the mandate to say it is safe or not, it does not have that mandate.
It's the same we're talking about. NAFDAC can tell us what's safe in other foods, but when it comes to GM, NAFDAC has no say. Well, it's a fine place and even a sad place to leave it tonight, because NAFDAC will have this conversation with all their stakeholders. Kabir, I'd like to thank you for your time, Kabir Ibrahim. And Joyce Brown, thank you for your time, for coming on the show.
Greetings, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday to everybody. Emil, Michael, I see you. Thank you very much. So this is not quite the space hasn't started yet for related to the GMO discussions, but I just thought to bring that because the person who's going to be hosting the space later on in the day, he had shared it on his page, and I wanted to bring it here prior to when he schedules this. He hasn't even scheduled it until when he brings schedules the space, So yeah, did you hear the guy talking about these are the people that are paid to poison your foods? I'm very glad that a lot of Nigerians are aware and are pushing back on it. This is what you get. These are people that have been paid to come and use propaganda for food that will go into your stomachs. I don't understand. Sometimes they remove themselves as if it's not going to affect them. And the funny thing is that the North especially is been hit the most with these GMO products. That's the problem. Look at the cases of cancer springing up every day in the North. Something that rarely happens in Nigeria. Look at the cases of breast cancer, different types of cancers springing up. It doesn't make sense. When you are not in charge of what you eat. You're a beggar now. You're an amajiri for life. And a lot of these people are willing to sell their souls for peanuts, just so they can keep the people poisoned. I'm very glad that a lot of people are standing up to it and are really recognizing, you understand, that yes, indeed, this is not what we want, and they're having conversations about it. I'm going to play another quick video for you, okay? It's the Africa's agricultural economy. Can GMO solve the crisis? It's crazy. Meanwhile, food is not our problem in Nigeria. I don't understand. Food has never been a problem for us. Never. Anyway, let's listen to this.
The conversation around GMO adoption has intensified, most especially around if it is truly the key to solving Africa's agricultural crisis, or it poses more risks than benefits. Dr. Segun Adebayo, Deputy Director, Center for Food Safety and Agricultural Research, joins me to discuss this. Thank you so much, Dr. Adebayo, for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
So I've seen quite a number of your posts on GMO seeds and the impact it might have on Africa's food security. What do we need to know about these seeds?
Okay, thank you very much. Genetically modified organisms, they can either be plants or animals. And in the context of our conversation, we are talking about genetically modified seeds. Now, these are what some people, they're a type of what they call improved seeds. These are seeds that have been altered at genome level they have been, these are seeds that at genome level, genes from other organisms are taken across the species barrier. So it's like you can take a gene from a pawpaw and put it in, maybe you put it in a rat, or you take a gene from a fish and put it in a tomato. And in the case of the GMOs we have in Nigeria, genes were taken from bacteria and put into our seeds. And in Nigeria at the moment, we have 3 approved GMOs for cultivation, and about, I think, 6 for importation. Now, the 3 that have been approved for cultivation in Nigeria are, number 1, cotton. So it's called BT cotton. And I should quickly jump in here that it has been banned in Burkina Faso, who tried it before Nigeria. And there's a lot of report on that. It produced poor quality lint, and it affected their exports. A country known to export cotton, in the period they adopted it, they found out that it produced low quality lint, and they couldn't export it because the demand was for the natural and high quality production from the natural regenerative seeds. And it should interest us that it's the same thing that has been introduced to our cotton industry in Nigeria, with a report from our cotton farmers on the 23rd of September, experiencing the same thing that the Burkina Faso cotton farmers experienced. The second is beans, PBR cowpea, that's what they call it, pod borer resistant cowpea. And this was introduced, I think, in 2019 with many promises. And of course, if you look at my posts on social media, you will see a lot of people complaining about, different aspects of that particular beans. Now, the third, which is what I would say was responsible for breaking the camel's back in Nigeria, is maize. What they publicized as Tailor maize. And this is something that has been banned in many countries around the world. Many countries have banned genetically modified maize. The most recent of them is Mexico. And it should interest us that Mexico banned it for safeguarding, the president said, to safeguard the health of his people, to ensure that they do not lose their natural heirloom, which is very possible when you introduce genetically modified seeds.
Okay.
Many countries have banned it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so, but then promoters of these seeds say that it is going to ensure better yields, address, or let's say it's a disease-resistant crop, so to speak, and it will translate into more food production and bigger market for farmers. So does it mean that all these are propaganda?
Exactly. Because if you're saying that it's going to, now, the proponents of GMO argue that GMOs will lead to high yield, and that would be a strategy to combat food insecurity in the country. And when you investigate this further, at what cost? Number one, the seeds that are being sold to the farmers, these are seeds that are sterile. So the business of the seed companies and the seed merchants has been protected, because the programmers of these seeds have programmed these seeds to only last for 2 generations, most of them. So you have to go back to the seed merchants to buy seeds every planting season. And if the farmer has to go buy seeds every planting season, and he doesn't have his regenerative seeds anymore, what happens? It drives up the cost of doing business, because he has to buy seeds every planting season. And this is captured in a report by the Nigerian Cotton Farmers Association, NACOTAN, where they said that at first the seeds were cheap, but right now it costs about 55,000 naira per kg, and you need about 4 kg to plant cotton on a hectare, and that's about 220,000 naira to plant cotton on just a hectare. Okay. So that's not sustainable. And the seeds don't go alone. The seeds go with mandatory fertilizers and agrochemicals. Because the people in the seed business also have these addendum products that you must buy if you're going to get the quote-unquote bountiful harvest that they have advertised. So it drives up the cost of business and it creates what we call food capitalism. Because if the bulk of your seeds has to come from a certain company, you're looking at control. If that company decides that, okay, we don't have seeds to sell, what happens? So that's food monopoly, and that goes against the ethics of food sovereignty, which is mandatory. It's a right for every nation to be food secure and food sufficient. So the moment you play into the gallery of the food capitalists by buying into the business of GMOs, you will begin to have what Mexico began to fight against, a loss of your heirloom, because the genetically modified farms will cross-pollinate with your natural farms, with your natural seeds, with your natural crops, and leading to the sterilization of your crops. So by the time your natural seeds are being sterilized, you are losing your biodiversity. And this is part of the argument. So at what cost? So even if it really gives the bountiful harvest, at what cost? Do we need to lose our food heritage because somebody promises bountiful harvest? And
now,
then again,
Dr. Adebayo,
let's punctuate the arguments here.
Yeah, so permit me to butt in here. Is there a difference between the seeds that are being used in countries like Argentina, Brazil, Canada, China, even South Africa, according to reports? Of course, they actually embraced agricultural technology and these genetic engineering kind of seeds to be used on their farms, and they recorded success. So is there a difference between that and what we have in the generality of Africa?
Okay, first of all, I'll start with Africa. Now, South Africa recently reversed their approval of MON 87460, and that is the name for the talents. South Africa recently reversed their approval on the basis of risk assessment, that the risk assessment was not sufficient to guarantee food safety. That's number one. Now, number two, the countries that you are mentioning, United States, I'll take from the list on the screen. United States, it is banned currently in about 27 states, especially the addendum chemical glyphosate. And the same company that's selling the glyphosate that also produces the bulk of the biotech seeds, the same company has paid over $11 billion to over 100,000 people that got cancer using their products. So because some people, so if that's the scenario we want for Nigeria, then do we go ahead with it? Do we sell our health for quote-unquote food? The same Brazil, go to Brazil. The farmers in Brazil, a lot of them committed suicide. Why? Because of patent laws. Now, if due to open air pollination, you can look this up, due to open air pollination, the seeds are blown from GMO farms to non-GMO farms. And then and because these seeds are patented, the biotech communities, the biotech firms are able to sue the farmers who do not have license. The biotech firms are able to sue farmers who did not buy seeds from them.
Okay.
So many farmers were sued, and they paid over $7.7 billion in Brazil.
All right.
And then begin to look at other countries. Canada recently released a report that using GMOs increased their use of agrochemicals by over 244%.
All right.
India reported thousands of farmers committed suicide because of GMOs.
Dr. Adebayo, just to wrap things up now, just in about 15 seconds, what should be done? An outright ban or regulation over GMO seed adoption?
Two things. Number one, the GMOs that are in circulation at the moment must be labeled to give our consumers a choice. Number two, proper sensitization. Three things rather. Number two, proper sensitization. Just the same way we say to those who smoke, that tobacco users are liable to die young. There must be a disclaimer on the packaging, on the labeling. Then number three, which is the third point, is that we must ban any introduction of any new GMOs and begin to roll back every approved GMOs in Nigeria. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you very much, Dr. Segun Adebayo, Deputy Director, Center for Food Safety and Agricultural Research, for helping us understand this better. It was nice talking to you.
This is wild. While men slept, right? The enemy, they said, went to plant tares, as weeds or whatever. In between. This is the problem. When you don't know, right? People, as a result of ignorance, you just go. Look at the kinds of food that people are seeing in Nigeria. Watermelon that does not bend. Hey, egbami. All kinds of things. People are having so many different types of cancers springing up. What we've not heard in Nigeria, it not common because we dey chop natural food, for Christ's sake. And you have representatives that are greedy, illiterate, and they only care about their stomach and their pockets, thinking that they will be, they will be protected from the imminent unaliving that is coming to them. This is why we have to be aware. Nobody has the privilege of not knowing these things, especially if you're an African. Every African, if you ask me now, should be an activist. Wallahi talai. I'm telling you, every African needs to be, everybody's eyes need to be wide open. It's an emergency. It's an urgency. We can't fold our hands like this. I grew up on the farm. The seeds that you planted from the previous harvest is what you store for planting in the new season. So now you have to go and be buying seeds that you already have. They will take it away. I mean, it does not even make sense to anyone. And your leaders are just folding their hands. Anything they say, as long as they can go to Switzerland and all the shine, bling place, that means that's all there is to life. They think that once these people are done with the regular folks, they will be immune from the catastrophe that's coming. We are millions of citizens. The politicians that are keeping us down are only 1,000 in each country. If you say, okay, max 2,000, you want to tell me millions of people cannot take down those people? It's time for us to have sense in Africa. If we want to get it right, we need to have sense. We really need to have sense. We need to know what we're doing. Everybody's eyes need to be open. You are either part of something, you are doing something, you are speaking, you are contributing, you are whatever it is, however way you can contribute. Please choose a side. Nobody has any privilege. You can't stand aside. You cannot be on the fence and say, Africa problem, oh my God, it's so sad every day, so sad. You are the reason why it is sad. Because if you added your voice, it will bring awareness. People will be aware. They will become aware. They will say, oh, what's happening? Oh, what can we do? But when you are quiet, in my language, there's a saying, right? Meaning, if you are silent about your problem, nobody will know. And all your problems will be hidden within you until the person unalives. Nobody will know. More we get sense, so more we know wetin we dey do. Another video I want play now. More we listen. This na food. Me, I like food. Me, I like food well. Okay? Natural food. So I want to take my food play. So this matters very much to me. Misty, by the way, Misty, your president was apologizing. Do you accept his apology? Let me know the call. He and his wife, they came out, they were apologizing. They say, Misty and every citizen of the country, we are sorry for 40 years of misrule. Misty, please, let me know. Do you accept his apology? Thank you. Exactly. Is Africa, they want to recoup their losses. Exactly. Oh, my sister. Imagine being sued by a big seed coming into your land to sterilize your crops. Not be juju be that, my brother. Just ban the period. This is why everybody needs to get involved. This job not be one person own. This job not be one person own. Omo. Outright ban, no guidelines, no exceptions, no corner, safety measures for use. Ban it altogether. Bam.
Across Nigeria, the rainy season brings relief from scorching heat in agricultural bounties. One such bounty is maize, a food staple for many Nigerians. Roasted, boiled, or cooked, maize is a tasty delicacy. But the taste, texture, and size of maize as we know it may soon become a thing of the past. Since the early 90s, scientists have been in a race to improve the genetic structure of food crops and animals. They say genetically engineering food will improve agricultural yield and increase shelf life. In October 2021, Nigeria's federal government approved a genetically modified, insect-resistant and drought-tolerant maize variety for commercial production. The seedlings became commercially available for farmers in the 2023 farming season. This marked a new chapter in the country's agricultural journey.
There are certain countries, poorer countries, more hungry countries in Africa that have banned, rejected GMOs. One of them is Zambia. Zambia has maintained a strict ban on GMOs since 2002. And the government cites concerns about food safety. That is a poorer government in Africa, poorer than Nigeria. They cite concerns of food safety, environmental impact. I'm listing those conditions so that you will deduce what is wrong with GMOs. Food safety, because they have been found through research to have indications or implications in some non-communicable diseases like cancers, metabolic syndrome, like general memory decay, that is called early loss of memory.
The National Biotechnology Development Agency maintains that this genetically modified seed meets all safety standards and contrary opinions are baseless in science.
Anyone talking against or peddling misinformation, disinformation about GMOs, the safety of GMOs, they're just doing it maybe through sentiments, or what, or their own ideology. They may have their own ideology, but not based on science. Whatever they're saying is not based on science.
Nigeria's rich agricultural heritage is now at a crossroads. The country is on the verge of a significant farming season that could make or mar the future of Nigerian food.
This is it. This is the telomeres.
What are the risks of these human-engineered crops?
This is evidence-based.
Maize used to be one of the cheapest staple food for many Nigerians, with numerous byproducts. Paulina earns a living by roasting and selling maize. Customers come to her for the tasty delicacy. Savoring roasted corn by the roadside is indeed one of life's simpler pleasures. But what some don't know, and what Paulina cannot tell them, is whether the maize they are eating is natural or genetically modified.
I dey buy big one. Like for farm, we will select the one where we need to buy it. But for market, they will bring anyone, and you buy it like this.
Let me today call. It's a speculation anyway. About 80-90% of people cannot differentiate between GMOs and organic plants and even animals. Organic are they look smaller. Sometimes you feel maybe the soil is not good for them or they don't have enough fertilizer. But that is how they are. And they are very, very healthy. But the GMOs, the grains are very big. They produce you have a massive harvest at the end of the season. But this one you may not have as plenty as the other one. But this is more healthy than the other one. Common sense tells me that if Germany, where this thing emanated from, have rejected it, if Russia has followed suit, because Russia is one of the highest world exporter of wheat, but they are no more doing GMOs. They are doing organic, so they know the health hazard of it. I think the target might be to reduce population of some kind of, especially Africa, because Africa, whatever comes in, we take it hook, line, and sinker, and I think that's the best way to do it.
Teller maize is one of the genetically modified crops approved by the Nigeria's federal government on the 11th of January 2024 for open cultivation, with the hope that the challenge of drought and pest infestation on maize will be a thing of the past, thereby improving food security. The Institute for Agricultural Research, Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, is one of the institutions that promotes Teller maize. However, many farmers are yet to switch to these improved seedlings. Farmers have had a bitter tale producing organic maize. The introduction of Teller maize could be a game changer to end their long suffering. Salisu is one of such farmers. He welcomes GMO seeds because of the high cost of agricultural input and loss of grains to insect infestation.
As I'm doing it now, I don't like the way I'm doing it. I also need something that will make the farm easier for me. If I have that GMO now, I will use it, because like this one now, it will produce 3 to 4 bags for me. But that one that you are saying, maybe it will produce 5 to 6 bags. I need it. I will use it because nobody wants to suffer. And if I plant it and pour chemical just once, that means I will welcome it, and I will also introduce it to my people.
GMO plants' DNA have been altered to enhance certain traits, such as resistance to pests, increased yield, or improved nutritional content. The National Biotechnology Development Agency is mass-producing Teller maize at its demonstration farm.
The demonstration plot was actually established by the Teller maize projects group, just for people to come and see. Seeing is believing, because there's a lot of controversial, like misinformation, disinformation, rumor mongering going on about Teller, which are not really true. They are falsely, based on all those things. A lot is going on the social media, but this is it, for people to come and see and believe, and not to say wherever you plant a GMO, that nothing survives around it. When you come here, it's a different ball game.
While these modifications are considered solutions to agricultural challenges, growing concerns suggest that Teller maize may have unintended and dangerous consequences for human health. The Center for Food Safety and Agricultural Research has reservation about the commercial production of GMO crops in Nigeria.
The program was localized in several African countries, inclusive of Nigeria. It's under a project called Water Efficient Maize for Africa, WEMA. It's under that project which it was taken to different African countries. And of course, part of the buzzwords, narratives are that it's drought tolerant and pest resistant. So the popular army fallworms and other things that affect maize productions in Africa, this genetically modified variants will mitigate those things. Fantastic marketing stunts. Question: give us the risk assessment. From the Center for Food Safety, we have been asking for the risk assessment for this Teller maize program in Nigeria. Until date, we even asked under the Freedom of Information Act. We haven't still gotten it. Other organizations have asked for it that we are aware of. They haven't gotten it. The CEFSA was banned on Twitter for asking pertinent questions, the NBMA, And till this moment, as we speak, we have not gotten the risk assessment document. Is it wrong for us to ask for risk assessment for something that everybody needs to consume? How do we, because from what we do is food safety, we want to guarantee that this thing is safe. We are aware that there are international concerns. We're not the only ones speaking. In fact, the Mexican president, he placed a ban on both GMO crops and glyphosate and said it was in the interest of the health of their country and the preservation of their native varieties. That was why this was done. The Mexican president said this. The Tanzanian agricultural minister also said the same thing. Banned it. In fact, they banned the control field trials because of the potential damages. Mexico tried GMO. Mexico placed a moratorium on genetically modified foods as far back as 1998, but it wasn't followed. They lifted the moratorium they lifted the ban on GMOs, I think about 2001, 2002, and then it's been back and forth. And then they tried it for about 12, 13 years before. In fact, when they were going to ban it, they said that approving it was a crime against the people of Mexico. Approving it in the first place. In their Ministry of Defense, they said it's a crime against the people of Mexico to have even allowed it in the first place, because they found out that they were losing their natural varieties of maize, the natural varieties that they had had for thousands of years. Before this generation, they found out that they started looking for those varieties because they were in a trade agreement with Canada and the North American trade NAFTA agreement, North American trade and treaty between North American countries. So they had to be intertrade, and 98% of the maize in America is GMO. And they began importing what they already had in excess because of the trade treaty. And then they backed out of the treaty and said, no, it is in the interest of their national sovereignty that they protect their food systems, they protect the health of their people, and they backed out of that. So what did Mexico see? What did Mexico find out? When we begin to see these things in researches, in studies, we begin to localize it here and say, okay, give us the risk assessment document. Let us study it till date. I have asked Dr. Rose Gidado, personally, of the National Biotechnology Research Agency. I've asked her personally. I've asked her on a Twitter chat room. I've asked her also on chat, personal chat with her, because we speak to issues. One thing that unifies us all is that we are Nigerians. And if we cannot protect ourselves, who will protect us? I have asked the NBMA also directly for the same research papers. I have asked several others. I've even written to the IAR to make the same papers available. No one is responding.
For the average Nigerian consumer, the concept of GMOs is often shrouded in mystery. Without clear labeling or sufficient public enlightenment, people may be consuming genetically modified foods without realizing it or understanding the potential risks.
It's very difficult for the common man to identify them, especially in the context of the Nigerian market system. Our market system is different from the market systems in Europe and North America and in Asia. The common man is now at the mercy of government regulators, who are the gatekeepers. What they require, what they need to do is all over the world, and the purpose, the foundation and purpose of government is to protect the masses, the common person. So the regulator is there, NAFDAC is there, who ordinarily should have the purview to regulate GMOs. But because of procured science and procured regulation, the promoters of GMOs came sponsored bills at our government levels to shift regulation of GMOs from NAFDAC to a body that they created and implanted their proteges there. So now that very important gatekeeping aspect of government is missing. And we are using the media to call on the president and to call on the National Assembly to remember that they have a social compact with the masses, with the Nigerian people, the poor farmers, the poor consumers, the children of Nigeria, that should be given a chance to have a future tomorrow. At least they should grow to maturity. But with these poisons, I doubt if they can grow. So it's difficult, like I alluded to earlier, that if you go to buy akara, how will you know that it's produced with genetically modified beans? So in our market system, the common man will not. And it is promoted and marketed with packaging, with aesthetics. that, oh, this is, and that's what they're deceiving farmers now, that, oh, this is genetically modified, they give you bumper harvest, but they're not telling the farmers that epicide genes are implanted in the seeds. When you harvest the tonnage that is promised, you cannot replant them again because contractually, the patent holders forbid that. Because if you are to replant the seeds, their business will die and their profit mongering will be of no use. Secondly, if you plant them generation 1, generation 2, generation 3, if you manage to plant them, the yield drastically drops as the technology is inserted to discourage you from reuse of the seeds. So they came with that narrative, and usually, this is a narrative war. The manufacturer narratives are, there is a difference between seed and grains. But my grandmother used to harvest and replant, and we used to eat. But now they are saying that, no, you're having problem. We are having problem with our yield, not because of the quality of our seeds only. It's because of the quality of the soil. The soil is depleting because with the introduction of genetically modified organisms, the ubiquitous use of pesticides, herbicides, has grown astronomically. But you see, there is something that's called class or mass suicide. They are leading this country into mass suicide because of avarice. They are procured. My colleague will tell you, over the few years that we began to study this, the quantum of financing that one individual or a group of eugenists, the population proponents, have pumped into Africa and Nigeria over a short period of time is mind-boggling. In trillions. Who is the beneficiary? Who is collecting this money? Those people in government that ought to know better, but I want to excuse them. Even some of my colleagues, we should know better than the people in government because we are the researchers, we are the professors. But you know what? First of all, they come deceive our government that higher education research, you don't need it. What you need is primary education. And education at the university is not funded. My colleagues are hungry, they are poor. That's why you're having incessant ASU federal government altercations. And due to this, the side consequence is that they become vulnerable to procurement. And there is a way that these people promoting this, not just a way, there is evidence. They procure scientists. I have tons of court cases. We have them in our research center. That they have procured scientists, they procure scientific research, and they also procured the outcomes. They detect the outcomes. So even our colleagues who are procured, who should be knowledgeable and therefore patriotic and nationalistic to our country, what are our politicians whose aim is to recover their investment that they spent to get into politics?
This is natural as the conventional counterparts.
While responding to some of the questions raised by the Center for Food Safety and Agricultural Research, the Director, Agricultural Biotechnology Department, says their findings are not based on science.
Yeah, what we tell them is that they are highly scrutinized. The safest foods in the history of mankind. They have history of safe use in other countries that they've been used, and standards are being developed, on the use of these foods and development, and all technology developers, they make sure they work within those laid down standards, international standards. And these standards are being developed by WHO, OECD, FAO, and all. And these are internationally recognized regulatory bodies, and everyone knows them. And so, and then within countries, every country, at least before a country begins to commercialize a genetically modified organism, that country must have a safety valve in place, a regulatory agency like the one we have, the National Biosafety Management Agency. You must, first of all, especially a country that is signatory, to the Cartagena Protocol. We have the Cartagena Protocol on biological diversity. So that Cartagena Protocol, of course, provides, ensures that every country that's party to it must develop its own regulatory framework. And that's what Nigeria did, because Nigeria signed the Cartagena Protocol in 2001 and got it ratified in 2003 during President Obasanjo's time. And that's why we had to now develop biosafety bill took it to National Assembly. It was passed and signed in 2015 by President Jonathan. And after the signing of that act, then came Biosafety Management Agency to just, ensure, to oversee the movement, the use, and then the development of these genetically modified organisms by technology developers, So everyone who wants to either develop it or import it must apply to National Biosafety Management Agency and all this. So this is to put a safety valve in place. So we already have a framework, in place, and we have this agency, National Biotechnology Research and Development Agency, which is a promoter. We also carry out research and development. Another agric research institutes also do same. And so Nigeria has all it takes. So, and in terms of safety, we are already safeguarded.
If you see the way this woman take dey gesticulate as they talk, if you see the movement of her hand, if you see as the grammar dey sweet for her mouth, e paint mouth, e dey do am casually, dey speak big grammar. Hell, omo, Nigerians, we better wake up and go and flog these people out of Nigeria. Go and flog these people. Need to be shut down completely. Can you imagine? Grammar on top of poison, because they have money that they are paying them on the side to push this agenda. Thunder go fire each and every one of these people generation.
Debate over GMO and organic crops continues in scientific circles. There is a growing call from health practitioners for Nigerians to go back to organic crops to avoid non-communicable diseases. A dietitian, Dr. Cosmos Ugu, calls for independent and comprehensive testing to ensure the safety of these crops before they are allowed into the market.
Yes, looking at it, you know that in the Book of Faith, they said that lack of knowledge, my people perish. So this thing is anybody that sees this thing will rush it. And any marketer will try as much as possible to do a good package before he comes to the market so that he market it. But the adverse effect is what we are talking. Not that the product is very fine, which anybody that sees will be enticed to go and rush it, not knowing that you may be going into debt. That's the summary of what I would say about this thing. Because if you take this thing now and they contain a lot of toxins and toxic substances that will kill you in less than 1 year, then the essence of the aim of this is defeated. Your feeding have no positive effects. That's what it entails. So, for me, it's very good, as you see it. It's not the best. Or for this, the effect of a GMO and rest of them, the implication of genes. Because by our level of expertise in genes and rest of them, we know that a lot of things are happening. That's why if you go upstairs now, you see a lot of kidney failures, heart failure, stroke, here and there, cancer of the breast, cancer of the uterus, in short, 1,001 of them. Where is it coming from? It's from what we are eating. Because we have changed the trend. If you go into the villages, you see all those old women living 120, 150. They are still strong, moving. But this new generation, now, before you know, the life expectancy of Nigeria is within the range of highest plus or minus 55, 60. Why? Because of lifestyle and what we eat. And all this is coming from all this kind of modified foods that is proliferated everywhere. And bakers of bread are not baking for their own interest, they are baking for their own magnanimity. So all these people producing this, we're looking for their money. So that's why I will say that they have a lot of disease condition is involved. If you go into the hospitals, you see that it looks like markets. There are no busy hospitals. Go general hospital, primary health care, tertiary hospitals. If you sight the place, there are no hospital you go that will not look like a marketplace. Why? It's because of what you are eating. Everything is already modernized and either using GMO or introducing one chemical to sort out one thing or the other.
As Nigerians steps into the era of genetically modified agriculture, the nation faces a critical choice. The promise of Teller maize is undeniable, but so too are the concerns that accompany them. In this complex landscape, consumers, farmers, and policymakers must navigate the facts, fears, and the future of food in Nigeria.
Yep. The House of Representatives on May 16th of 2024, barely 4 months after the commercial approval of the GMO crops, urged the federal government to suspend the commercialization of GMO crops amid concerns over food and environment. Oh man, let's see. Wait, hold on. The thing don't. Over food and environmental safety. The promise of GMO maize is undeniable, but so too are the concerns for health and safety. Will technology bring a harvest of hope, or are scientists sowing the seeds of unintended consequences? That's the question that was asked. Now, hey, Kene Baba, how far now? My village brother. I don't know say you don't come. I never look comments since, so I just want to make sure say I play all the things the videos when I pull up surrounding this GMO, because together all of us we must squash this thing. I beg. I beg I dey beg una. I beg oh. We need our food sovereignty. We should not allow these people, na illiterate na full our government. Illiterates. They don't know it. All of them, so far they go get money, bling bling, they'll just open teeth down. They shine, they laugh like Ozuo. Okay, let me go comments. The guy is not on space yet, but I promise when he does come on space, because he's been like he's the one that I know that's been really pushing and being active about the pushback on this GMO. There was a time as a PhD, whether a doctor the woman be on Twitter, that was pushing these GMO foods and all of that. He sent her a message and said, I want to debate you on this. Please come and tell me the advantages of eating GMO. Come and tell us the meaning. The woman was running, So I mean, at least I know that that's what he does. Let me quickly go back to the comments right here. What you do, Emil? What's wrong with Emil? Did I miss something? Mona no vessel. Always voice my problems to medical providers in the military, even during the time I came close to, but none of them were of any help, and they may. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, Emil. I hope you're in a good space now. Please keep being in a good space, and come around Africans. Trust me, they will help you. Should I even say that? We have our own problems, but be around Africans. Oh my God, I wish you all, sending you all the love and peace that you need. Continue to do your best. Continue to do your best. That's all you can do. But never ever give up. Okay. Let me see. Oh, thank you, Dee and Michael. I don't even see it's our responsibility called educated Nigerians in investing massively in our agricultural sector, especially. Exactly, Michael. Honestly, if every citizen embarks on growing their own food, before we know what's happening, we'll have surplus food in Nigeria. I'm telling you. Especially in reproducing our natural seeds and producing it in commercially available quantities. The woman speaking is a tool of destruction and knows nothing about long-term devastation of the useless things she's spewing. I'm telling you, if you hear them speak, this is why I am very, very, our Western trained people, honestly, they don't sell their brain. Wallahi to lie. All for trinklets. Sounding nice and cozy. I'm telling you. We like using big grammar. GMO is bad. Ban it. It's simple. They're so used to licking ass and chopping oyibo. Yeah, they worship anything. Exactly. I truly hate it when Nigerians use words like common man, masses. I know, instead of citizens. It's a very common word that is used. That's true. You're right. That word needs to change. We need to push that. We need to start changing that narrative. Common man, masses. Oh, you not be mass. You not be part of the common man. Disrespect. What is this? What is all this grammar for? You don't grow your own food and you're crying. The ones you are giving is poison. No be madness with that. There is something ironic about nations in polar regions prescribing temperature regions should use the agricultural natural. I blame our successive leaders. Yeah, not them. It's their fault. The same useless WHO which said the pandemic was spying people, whereas it was their useless deadline vaccine which was spying people. Bam. Exactly. You know, a lot of people have come out and said the vaccine, you get wetin do for their body, you get this one, you get that one. There are people who took the vaccine, nothing dey happen to them. Oh. Nothing. Whether or not the people went wait until the vaccine was actually, when they feel so okay, I don't know. But yeah, because we don't grow our food and have research institutes. That research institute part, but Kene, we used to have research institutes. We used to have it. I'm not talking about IITA. It's Oyibo people that have IITA in Ibadan. I'm not talking about even the IITA. Our people go there to do all manner of research. It's actually for scientists and farmers. I remember when where I used to work in Nigeria, they sent us there for like a training and stuff like that, right? So they put us up in IITA because they have rooms, like, rooms to book. Very, very lovely place, by the way, in Ibadan. Let me just put that out there. Great food. They have their own fish pond, their own farm, everything. Amazing, amazing, amazing place for vacation. But anyway, yeah, I think there used to be research institutes, but dead brain politicians, spam. I think there used to be. I think my memory serves me right. I think there used to be. She does not even sound convincing. It is giving script rehearsal. Yep. She's so very nonchalant. I wish if I had shown you guys the video, you definitely, everything you're hearing is exactly what she is. She was just, twiddling with her hands and just very exactly, Tato, nonchalant. She's just going, like somebody, like when the queen used to wave to her people in England. That's how she was doing her hands. Remember, we watched video from 10 years back with the outgoing ADB bank chairman when he was agric minister. He was excited about, yes, Kenny, I remember that video. Yeah. It has been years. I remember. Yeah. GMO has been in Nigeria for over 20 years. You did say that. They have never prioritized that in their so-called development plans. I'm telling you. Even the documentary person is a plant. Yep. He went from our ancestors talking to plants to GMO. I'm telling you. They're illiterate, but more at the intellectual set. Yes, those are the words. Those are the most dangerous ones. Those ones that will come and be speaking grammar, talking, with their nose up, like they want to talk like they are colonizers. Those are the educated ones are the most dangerous ones. I will keep saying it. I'm not against education. It's good. I got education, okay? I got education, all right? But when you lose your brain, you lose yourself in the process. I have a problem with that. I really do. They are the ones causing the problems we have in Nigeria. Because guess what? To appeal to the audience, they will go on now TV, use all these big terms throw words around casually, make you believe that yes, indeed, these dons, these people, these bought people that they've been bought over with money really know what they're saying. They don't. They've lost their brain. All they do is service colonialists. They've given them trinkets. Look at now, Gates is giving out all his money because frustration. Countries are driving him everywhere. He is one of the most disliked people on this earth. Eh? Can we truly be sovereign with these loans we keep taking and the conditions? Let me tell you, there's something I saw. Somebody said they borrowed, I think it was Mr. Darlington, Barrister Darlington. Oh my God, my favorite guy. Let me play for you guys. So, according to the Barrister Darlington's campaign, right? Barrister Tinubu's campaign, you know, they were going around saying, oh, he paid off all the loans. He paid off all the loans. It was a decoy. And I thought about it too. I was like, he probably did that because he needed to do that in order for them to give him another loan that is heavier. To borrow another set of loan, which he has. I'm telling you, I thought about it. But hear him for yourself.
Yes, when you see a liar, he doesn't even know when to stop lying. You told us you cleared the 3 billion of IMF loan that they gave us for COVID-19. And now, I told you here that they are preparing grants to go and borrow more money so that they will be credit worthy. When they hear that Nigeria has cleared their debt with IMF, I said, yeah, that means the economy is buoyant, you know.
So you're saying it was a plot to borrow more?
It was a ploy to borrow more money so that when you hear that they have paid all their money with IMF, you say, yes, they are credible. That means they have the capacity to pay their debt. And so whenever they say give up, they say, please go ahead, take. Yeah? Don't know that it's the decoy. You can see it. I said it's not possible. They only pay the part sum. For a particular institution. How about World Bank? How about China? How about other institutions that they are owing? Have they cleared all those ones? The answer is no. But they use that IMF to go and, do propaganda and sell it to qualified Nigerians.
They will say that, to be fair to the administration, they say that America, which is the world's largest leaders, or one of the leaders of the world, they are the highest country that borrows more. But the thing is our economy and that of America the same thing?
No, let me tell you, I have a proverb for that. Any rat that follows lizard to go and drench in the rain, you remember that when the rain is done, the lizard will just shake his body and move on. But you, the rats, your body, the fall that is covering your body will not allow you to move like you go and hide somewhere for days before that rain will dry on your body. Is that not true? So if you are following America, are you America? In terms of industrialization, in terms of economy, in terms of social status, where will you start comparing yourself with America? America even tell you that it is their money that you are owing. How can they use their money to pay their debt? America is only $1 trillion. If you owe that kind of money, that means your country is gone.
Exactly. Yeah? You hear what he said? So I thought about when everybody, they were all pushing, all the Agbadorians. He has paid. Nobody is talking about it. He has paid now. They were singing it, just pushing it in the faces of people, right? And of course, people saw right through it. I knew something. I was like, this guy is paying this loan so that they can give him more loans. That's exactly what happened. So when I saw this video, I was like, there was something I say, this is why I like this man. He dey talk as he dey sweet my belly, and I saw the man dey talk. He don't care who he dey involved. He go talk am. I appreciate people like this, Meanwhile, I don't know wetin dey happen with Governor Eno of Akwa Ibom and his daughter. Okay, his daughter dey talk say na im mama say I am not the sacrifice my mother was. She come play some videos. I no even understand the video, so I no go bring her out. So it's allegedly as at now. We don't know wetin dey happen, you know. So my people, I go leave am here for now. I go see una later. Barrister Darlington has been speaking for over, I just, you know, you never too tell when I discover am. Now during that voice of when what do they call her, Precious, I think, yeah. Now that time I know who Barrister Darlington. They are not know am before then. So if he has been speaking, wonderful. I appreciate people like that, and I appreciate the fact that their voices are being amplified even more, because you need people like that who can talk regardless. You might not always like what he says, though, because at times I don't like when he was analyzing and saying, oh, that he thinks that PO should allow Atiku should come behind Atiku. That word, that thing annoyed the hell out of me. But you know what? I was like, okay, I don't have to agree with him every time, right? But he has his own reason for saying that. But yeah, I just discovered it myself. Can we be truly sovereign with all these loans and the condition? Of course, when you have imposters as politicians, as your government, correct? You can't be free of loans, because they keep pushing them to take loans. That's part of the support. They like it so that they can keep you tied down. So until, this is why the election 2027 is do or die. Okay? Do or die. That's what it literally means. All right? So until the citizens, everyone comes together and puts their foot down and push these people out, so that we can stand by paying off those loans, so we can even have clear eye. We will see clear roads. We are on a long thing. Okay, so we cannot be casual, we cannot be complacent about the upcoming election, since that's what everybody is waiting for, because nobody is ready to go down on the streets. Because I cannot also imagine, people are worried, they're tired of protesting day in, day out, no results. I don't blame them. You know what I mean? So there used to be universities had, University of Ibadan had research institutes. I remember University of Ibadan had research institutes. Even some of the state universities had at the time as well, but they shut it down intentionally. And they had a lot of research data. They defunded our universities. Bam. The loan subsidy is not sustainable. Egypt feeds themselves test grains in their labs to make sure it's safe. Oh, well, person wey say im pay loan and less than a week after, they asked to borrow almost 8 times the amount im pay. Madness, desperate common things. And he speaks fluent Yoruba too. Oh really? I've never heard him speak fluent Yoruba. Oh, interesting. I'm not surprised. I appreciate him. Oh my God, I really appreciate that man. I know will lie to now. He's one of my favorite. Anywhere I see him talking, I don't dive him. Hey, I like him. I really like him. I like the fact that he speaks truth to power. Make I play small snippet. Idris Abdul Karim is about to release another banger, so you guys will keep warming up for that. But let me play the small quick trailer for now. Oh shit! All right now. Yes. Hey, see jam now. We don't get jam. So here's a question I saw on Aisha Yusufu's tweet. She says, how many of us are ready to be party agents and also ready to testify in court come 2027? And then she says, but for me, we are not going to court. Now them go court. Now we go, now them go they talk, keeping our eyes on the judiciary. We will not be on that bandwagon. Somebody say amen. Amen. Am I preaching to somebody today? This morning, as they talk 2023, we took them to court. 2027, we will be the ones taking them to court. Bam. That's the energy. That is the energy. Okay? Yeah. So wait, something else. What was it again? By the way, I don't stock up on T-Pain, all the dance moves, everything. I don't stock up on them. So this selection is going to be fire. I'm going to be playing all his dance. Anybody when you talk to me anyhow, guess what? Now dance, I go take respond to you. All right. So okay, I'll see you guys on my next one. Enjoy your morning, guys. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you all. D, Kene, Michael, Misty was here earlier. Tato, darling, I really appreciate you. Who else was here? I beg. Emil, enjoy, okay? Take care of yourself, please. And always, you know you're always welcome here, right? And who else was here? There's a man I know who's being heavily considered as the next INEC chairman. If he gets in, forget free and fair elections. It is now up to the city. It is up to the citizens. See whether they change the INEC chairman or not. Whether Mahmoud is there or not. Whether they bring in the most popular person or not. Do you understand? Guess what? Whether they bring in the most popular person or not, we the citizens have to be ready. Now, in case you're not aware, let me announce again to everybody. It is us versus APC. Forget who INEC. We know that it's going to be fraudulent from the beginning. But the question is, are we as the citizens, the last one when we go take fight, descend on all of these people? We need to be ready for that. I know they pay attention to whoever this man want put again. Then they decamp to one party. I'm very happy so that we will know all of them are in one party. So that's the energy we should have. I don't have faith in the institutions. There's none that I have faith in. So why should I be bothered who they put or replace? You understand? Hey, Natasha, they come Adiola life. Oh boy, I go show. What? Eastern, 3 p.m. Eastern. Wetin be that time for my side though? 3 p.m. Eastern. That na 6 p.m. my time. Omo, oh shit. Hey. Well. Live. Natu, thank you for the update oh. Make I go see. She sent that invite. Let me see. What? How can I miss my girl? What the? Omo, make she give person space to ask her question oh. Because what? Abeg o. See update. Abeg make I share am for my post. Una no vex. Create post. Omo, it is about to go down. I'm going to be streaming here. If I hope so Adiola go give us opportunity to ask her question oh. Because me I want to come and encourage her oh. Abeg make she get energy because we dey her back like Iroko tree. Alright, make I notify me. Yes, we about to go there. 12 p.m. my time. Abi, did I miscalculate? 3 p.m. Eastern time. No be, you guys are 3. Oh, right, that's true. Oh my God. Okay, thank you for that correction, Natu. Okay, Kene, thank you very much. Thank you. I've shared it on I'm going to be streaming it on my own live too, so whoever is going to catch it can watch it from there. All right, guys, thank you so much. It's been real. Please catch this on replay. It's very important. Watch this GMO thing. Share it with your people. Please, I'm telling you, excitement. Oh my God. You don't understand. This woman, I carry her matter for her like a gege bread and hot beans. Are you kidding? This woman when don't they cost when they give for the federal government headache. I beg go. I love her. May I go support her. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys on my next one. Absolutely, definitely coming out later on. It's Friday, so we're gonna talk about everything as always. Thank you so much. Natu, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you, Nana. We'll jam for Adiola's life. Take care, guys. Bye. Like if you have not yet liked, please share, like. Thank you.